Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com. I thought I would do another video since I'm on the productivity kick of talking about productivity and just a concept, something that I discovered for myself, something that might help you being more productive and being less irritated. I had a fantastic, phenomenal, productive day today, and I realized some things. I had to go deep for this. So I'm going to give you a tip here in a second that I think will help you to be more productive and less pissed off at the world. All right, so today I was working on something, okay, and I was being really productive, doing my Pomodori. You can check out how I plan my week if you don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to rehash that here, but check out that video if you haven't already. I think it may change your life, really, honestly. But what I was doing was I was working hard, I was having a good day, having a lot of productive time, and really just pounding out some editing on the chapters of my new book. You can check the new book out here if you want to sign up. I encourage you to, because hey, it's free, or it'll be real cheap when it launches, and it's going to be good. Okay, it's called The Complete Software Developer's Career Guide. But I was working on this, trying to get this finished up, and a couple of things happened. I got interrupted a few times. I got a text on my phone, okay, and someone tried to call me right afterwards, and they're asking me a question, and I saw that, okay. And then at a different time during the day, someone messaged me on Skype, and so the Skype's flashing, okay, and I'm like, and my instant reaction to this, okay, my reaction to this was to be pissed off at them. Like, what the fuck? How dare you interrupt me while I'm trying to fucking work? And, I had some interruption where someone came into my office, right, or knocked on my door, and I was getting pissed off. I'm like, how dare you, right? Normally I'm not as focused, but because I'm trying to be productive today, this shit is happening and pissing me off, right? And I realized I got a hold of myself. I caught myself and I said, wait a minute, hold on a second here. You know what? It's not that I'm letting people interrupt, right? So if I have my phone where I can see it, okay, and I choose to look down at that message, all right, then I'm letting people interrupt me. While I'm working on my Pomodoro, I can shut off everything. I can turn off Skype. I can turn off all distractions. Okay, if someone knocks on the door, I can say, I'll be out in a minute, or I can say, not right now, give me 10 minutes, right? I can say that, or I can make it known ahead of time, and I can prevent people from interrupting me, right? I don't have to allow it. So if someone is interrupting me, it's not their fault, right? I mean, to some degree, if I've told them not to and they do, it's their fault, but it still doesn't have to upset me because I get to choose whether I'm interrupted or not. Aside from them coming into my office, literally pulling my fingers off of the keyboard or slapping me or something like that, I can choose it, right? So especially when it's coming in through a notification, right? I can ignore that. I don't have to see it at all. And you might say, well, what if it's important? What if it's urgent? Well, there's probably some way to get a hold of me. Maybe I can leave my phone on so someone could call me, and I could have a protocol and say, okay, if you call me 2 times in a row, then I'm going to respond. Otherwise, I'm ignoring this until my Pomodoro's up, and then I can check my messages. Most of the time, though, the world is not going to burn down if someone can't get a hold of me for a max of 25 minutes, which is how long my Pomodoro timer lasts. So I realize, again, really important just to realize 2 things here. One, I have control, okay? I can choose to be interrupted or not, okay? So if I am interrupted, especially by a notification on my phone or a Skype message or an email that comes in or something like that, totally 100% my fault because I didn't turn off those notifications, right? I mean, there's plenty of times when you're not able to, when you don't have your phone, right, and someone can't notify you or can't interrupt you, and you don't forget, you don't say, oh, well, I always have to be able to be, someone has to get a hold of me at any given time. I mean, when you're taking a shit on the toilet, can people get a hold of you? I don't know, probably not, right? Maybe if you got your phone, I suppose. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you can be off the grid. It's okay, right? But you get to define that. So number one, I figured that out and realized, hey, people aren't interrupting me. I'm allowing people to interrupt me. I can choose to not. So that was the first thing I noticed. And then the second point here is that there's no need to get upset about this. It's not their fault, right? It's and you can get upset and be like, oh, how dare they interrupt me? And I can, that's a bigger interruption because I'm allowing my emotional state to be interrupted as well, right? I'm not perfect. I get upset at things, but you can prevent that by just choosing to say, hey, Even if you notice the message, you can just say, hey, I am choosing to ignore this, and they'll just have to wait. And you don't have to be upset about that, right? But in the past, I would get so upset about that, like, how dare you, or just irritated, right? Not even how dare you, but just irritated that someone is messaging me while I'm trying to do something. But again, one, it's my fault, like I said before, because I didn't turn off the notification. And two, it becomes doubly my fault if I allow that to get under my skin, as if I have to respond just because I saw it. Just pretend I didn't see it and move on, and they can wait the 5 or 10 minutes till my bell dings, and then I can go and respond to them, right? So those are the two big lessons that I learned. And I'll give you one third tip here that just makes sense, because I know some of you are like, well, John, come on, I work in a cubicle, like I got, you know, I'm a manager, whatever. I can't just ignore people. True. And to some degree, I can't just ignore people, right, in certain contexts. But if you let people know what's going on, right, I've talked about this a few times. I think in soft skills I did. If you haven't gotten my book, Soft Skills, Software Developer's Life Manual, definitely buy that book. Trust me, it's, you know, I am tooting my own horn, but it's totally worth the money. I have an audio version of it, which I add some extra stuff. If you have the book version, you don't have the audio version, you probably want to get that too. But hey, see how I sell that stuff? But no, my point is really this, is that you can go and you can tell people, hey, I'm implementing a productivity technique, or you can just say, hey, look, don't message me. Don't message. I do this all the time on Facebook. I'm like, do not message me. Do not message me. No offense. I love you. You're awesome, but don't message me. I just don't want to hear from you. I'm busy. You know, I don't like to be interrupted. Oh shit! Do you see what happened? My phone, my watch just did a ding. It just did a vibration because someone's messaging me. I did not turn that off. My initial reaction, just live as this was happening, was irritation, and then I realized what I'm talking about. So I need to turn that off. But essentially, you can tell people, and you can say, look, if I'm doing the Pomodoro technique or whatever, I'm going to be, you know, heads down for 25 minutes. You can put a sign in your cubicle, right? You can let people know so that they're not insulted, so you don't have to act nasty to them. You just say, hey, look, if I don't get back to you, or if you're trying to get a hold of me and it takes 20 minutes, it's because I'm working on a Pomodoro or whatever the interval is, as long as you let people know up front, or you just tell them flat out, look, do not contact me by phone. Do never call me unless it's an emergency. I don't like that. Or don't message me, or don't message me on Facebook, or whatever it is. You get to decide that, okay? You get to choose and decide that. And if you get upset by these things and you haven't told people, that's your fault. If they ignore what you're saying and you've told them, now maybe you can get a little bit pissed off. I'll give you some permission to do that, but this is important. You know, this is just, again, some of you might say, hey, John, this is pretty fucking obvious stuff, but hey, I was falling for this. I didn't realize this myself, even though I teach so much on productivity. So there you go. I'm sharing it, and hopefully it'll be helpful to you, or maybe you can pass that on to someone who interrupts you all the time. No. All right. If you like this video, if you haven't subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing, click that subscribe button below. And if you want to get notified when I release a new video, click the bell. But be sure that you close your browser window if you're focusing, so you don't get a notification while you're focusing, because I don't want to be that irritating interruption for you. All right. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.